Good morning once again. We are here for the part 2 of our lesson. Now let us start. Our lesson starts with the term Gram Panchayat. We will study how actually the decisions are taken at the village level. So we have three parties in picture. The first one is the Gram Sabha. You can see in this picture a group of people is sitting on near the tree and a certain group of people is sitting at a lower platform. So what is the story about this picture? We have the first thing which has Gram Sabha. Gram means village and Sabha means what? An organization, an assembly. So an assembly of village. Gram Sabha includes all the adult members of the village area. Now this Gram Sabha can include more than one villages also. Now you must be confused that it can include one village also and at the same time it can include many villages also. Why? Because our country is very diverse. We have many large villages also and many small villages also. So the government thought that if we will be having separate Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha for individual villages, so certain villages which are very small, you don't have to have a separate government for that. So what did we do? We clubbed many villages, the small villages, suppose 5 to 10 villages are there, we will club them together and we will name it as a single Gram Panchayat entity. So Gram Panchayat actually includes all the adult members of the village area or a group of villages, depending whether that Gram Sabha is there for one village or for many villages. And there is no set rules for deciding that, the government decides that. They can take 5 villages and then they can club it into one Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha area or the Panchayat area, or they can take just an individual village. If it is a very big village, so they would require a single Gram Sabha or the Panchayat area for that. Now, the interesting thing is that only the adult members become the member of Gram Sabha. Why? Because it is a general understanding and acceptance that people who are below 18 years of age, they are not well adept to take decisions for at the country level. Okay, it's a general perception, it is not always true. But once you attain 18 years of age, you become officially an adult. So, if suppose in a village, if I take example of your class, you have 45 strength. Suppose among these 45 strength, if some students are sitting here or they sit there and they are above 18 years of age and some are below 18 years of age. So, all those students who qualify this age, they will be considered as part of the Gram Sabha, not those who are minors. It includes women as well. This was very interesting and it was a very modern step which was taken by our government. Why? Because before the independence, women were usually not allowed to take part in any of the decision making process. And since women and men, they have different problems, there are certain problems which are associated with women only. But there was a general understanding that women never hardly used to go out to work, though exceptions were there. But they were this general acceptance that they need to do the household chores, they need to spend more time at the home, so they cannot take decisions for the country. This was a stereotype which was there in the mindset of the people. But our constitution makers ensured that this right to vote should be given to women also. So right to vote is given to all the members who are 18 or above 18 in Gram Sabha, in the Panchayat area, and together they form the entity which is known as Gram Sabha. So this is the first link in this entire process of the grassroots democracy. Together they take decisions for the welfare of the Panchayat area. Suppose there is a pole which needs to be repaired, there are no proper roads in particular area. In certain areas there are electricity issues. So all these people, the adult people, they are well aware of their village problem. So they will be conveying this problem to the authorities. Now who will be those authorities? We will study in the next slide. Now this is a very famous series which everyone must of you have watched. This is the famous Panchayat series. If you have it, you should watch. It shows the intricate or the complex nature of government at the grassroots level. Now the second we have taken example of Fulera village. Here you have a group of people which are termed as the Punts. And this is how we get the second link who are involved in the decision making process. There are majorly two members here. The first ones are known as Panchs. The other one is known as the Sarpanch or the Pradhan. Like we saw in the movie that this lady was appointed as the Sarpanch or the Pradhan, and the other members there were certain members who were considered as the Panch or the ward representatives. Now you would have some. Now we have the Sarpanch, we have the Panch, and this person we talk about later. So in a Gram Sabha, you have the Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha. All these two bodies work together to take decisions for the people. How? The entire village is divided into various small parts. You can take the example of a bar of chocolate. Like in a bar of chocolate, you have small pieces. The entire bar of chocolate is your village. And for our convenience and for the administrative convenience, we have divided this village into small parts, which will be known as wards. Why? The reason is same. Even in a village, we have different problems in different areas. In some part of the villages, there might be electricity issue. In the other part, the electricity issue is not there. Road problem is there. In another part, people don't get proper facilities of sanitation. In another place, there are no schools. So even in a village, our country is so diverse that even in a village, you have different problems for different areas because the geography is such. Now, for that, we have divided our village into wards, and for each ward, we have one representative. Like in your class, we have 6A and 6B. So you can consider class 6 as one village, and you have two wards in this village, A section and B section. The problems which are there in A section might be slightly different what is there in B section. So as teachers, we appoint separate set of monitors for A and separate set of monitors for B. So similarly, from each ward, we have one representative, which is known as ward representative in English, and the official term is Panchs. Now, suppose in the Panchayat area, you have 20 wards. Suppose if it's a big area, then you have 20 wards. So you will have 20 ward representatives or the Panchs. These Panchs, along with the head, who is the head of your class, the subject teacher. The monitor, along with the subject teacher, they ensure that the discipline of the class is maintained. Similarly, Panch and Sarpanch together, they work to discuss the problems of the village, how development can take place, what kind of schemes they could introduce or they could implement, which have come from the central level. Now, these two, you have found the two links, the Gram Sabha and the Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat will include your Panch and Sarpanch. Now, a third person, the third hero in the picture would be this person. He is known as the secretary. And by the flow chart, you can see that all these three pictures are combined into this one picture. So there must be some reason. All these three bodies are combined into one picture. So secretary is a person who oversees whether the Gram Sabha is regularly meeting with Gram Panchayat, whether Gram Sabha, which includes the villagers, their problems are being heard, and whether solutions are being provided or not. Why this happens? Many a times it can be a case that the state government, if the state government wants to know that okay, in my state are the villagers living in a proper way, is the schemes which we have introduced, are they being implemented or not? Who will ensure this? So they need a separate person to ensure that whether the work is being done properly or not, whether actually the grassroots democracy, which was the idea of Mahatma Gandhi, whether it is actually working or not. So what we have done, we have appointed an individual. Why I say that I am appointed? Because if I talk about Panch and Sarpanch, they are the elected individuals. The difference between elected and appointed is, if you are an elected individual, people will be giving vote and then you will get the power. Like your MLA, your ministers, your chief minister is usually the leader, but we give party the vote, that is why he is elected. If I talk about the appointed individual is that person who gives an exam exam, qualifies, and then he is given that position. Now, tell me whether an appointed individual will have more power or an elected individual. Obviously, an elected individual will have more power. You must argue that, ma'am, the appointed individual has given an exam, he should be given more power. No, our country, the basics of our country's democracy is that the real power should lie in the hands of the people. So people whom we have elected, they have the maximum power in our country. You can give an exam, you can qualify the most difficult exam of the country, that is the civil services, but still you will be working under the elected individuals who are representatives of the country. So secretary is a person who is appointed by the government, by the state government, who ensures that Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat are meeting regularly and whether they are undertaking development plans or not. Many a times Gram Panchayat just gives a fake report that okay, we are working continuously with Gram Sabha, we do meetings with villagers and we are undertaking various kinds of solutions. But that not might be the case. So he will be seeing that whether actually they are working properly or not. So he acts as a link between the elected individuals and the people. He works as an administrative link between these two bodies, the Gram Sabha and the Gram Panchayat. Now, in India, we have seen very exemplary examples that how Sarpanch have acted. Sarpanch being the head of the village, ultimately he has to ensure that how much development his village has done, his or her village has done. So we have several exemplary Sarpanch example in our country. The first one is the Nyaneshwar Kamble. Now how he was different? He was different in that way that he was a transgender person who was elected as a Sarpanch in the village in Solapur district of Maharashtra. Now who is a transgender person? Transgender person is someone who biologically has been allotted a different gender, but as that person grows up, he feels different. Suppose if you have been given the gender of a man and as you grew up, you found that you are more related to the women's side or to the feminine side. You feel more womanly in your body. That is why people go through a surgery and that is why they are known as they are given the term as transgender. Why it is an exemplary example? Because generally there is no acceptance. Whatever we see in our society as different, we have this mindset that something which is different from us, that is wrong. That is the uneducated mindset. So that is why only certain communities were given the right to vote and others were excluded. But he has done exceptional work in Lok Sabha and Gram Seva. Various kinds of schemes have been introduced by him. The panchayat area has flourished enormously. The second example is Vandana Bahadur Mehta. Now you saw a woman Sarpanch. Why these examples are important? Because from the time immemorial, women were considered as someone who were inferior to men. These things have changed in today's time, but I am talking about the history of it. This woman did exceptional work once she was elected as a Sarpanch. She did a lot of work in terms of education, sanitation. Sanitation for women is very important. Okay? You all must agree that we should proper toilets should be available, proper sanitation facility should be available. And women's needs are very different from men. So that is why we need women representative. So against all the patriarchal norms says that women are inferior to men. It's a very simple definition of the term of patriarchy. So she was the first woman who defied all the odds and she was elected as a Sarpanch. The third is a man who is known by the name of Popat Pawar. When he became the Sarpanch, he started applying Anna Hazare's model of rainwater harvesting. In villages, there is usually dearth of water supply. So what do you need? We need that if in case the rainfall is there, we are able to utilize that resource in an efficient manner. So he introduced various kinds of schemes. Excuse me. He planted lakhs of trees, all of which contributed to the recharge of groundwater. lot of environmental related work which led to the development of his village or his panchayat area. Now, again we'll come to Panchayat Secretary. The Panchayat Secretary, the Gram Panchayat is assisted by a Panchayat Secretary who performs administrative functions such as calling meetings and maintaining records. This we have already studied. One more person which we will study about is the Patwari. Usually in villages, people deal in lands. Either are working as a casual labor or they have agricultural lands. So it is very important that some kind of record should be there that which land belongs to whom. Otherwise, there will be continuous fighting between the boundaries of the land. So, keeping and maintaining the land record that okay, this 1000 square feet of land belongs to Ram, another 1200 square feet of land belongs to Ramu. All this needs to be noted somewhere, and this work is done by again an appointed person, which is known as the Patwari. And you can see the hands, which shows that they work as helping hands for the working of the grassroots democracy. Now, we have studied the entire story of how village panchayats work, how democracy works at the village level. But the main major question which will come to your mind that ma'am, why this is important to us? Because we are below 18 years of age, we are minors, it is of no importance to us. That is not the case. In recent times, we have acknowledged as a country the problems of children as well. And that is why various child-friendly panchayat initiatives have been taken. Now how this works? The child-friendly panchayat initiatives create opportunities to express their ideas and opinions on matters for their well-being. So in most of the panchayat areas, now they have Bal Sabhas. What happens in Bal Sabhas? The children who are usually your 6 to 12 years of age or usually from 8 to 12 years of age, once you have attained certain understanding, what do? You will sit at one place with the other children of your village or the panchayat area. Together you will discuss your problems. Your problems might be different from your classroom problems. I am not talking about your classroom problems that somebody took your pen, you are not done your homework. These are not the problems which you will be discussing in your panchayat, Bal Panchayats. You will be discussing the problems which you face. Like we have the social evils of child labor which still exist in village level. Somebody needs to take up this matter. So problems of child labor, problems of education, there are no proper schools, if schools are there, teachers don't turn up. If hospitals are there are no doctors, though they are appointed, but there are no doctors. So that is why we need certain initiatives from children as well, so that we can know about their problems. And what better way to know about children's problem? To involve themselves. This panchayat in Maharashtra, for example, a few Bal Panchayats have worked to eliminate child labor and child marriage. So together they have worked, adults have seen that what are the consequences of such acts and they have made various changes. One more which is very important example given in your book is the Children's Parliament. We have the Parliament, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha where various issues are discussed and laws are made. It is an offshoot of Bunker Roy's Barefoot College. So there must be a college and that college took one initiative that okay, we should start Children's Parliament. Now it's a very interesting example. We'll see how this parliament works. It's an initiative which was taken a few decades ago. It empowered underprivileged children in Rajasthan's rural areas which were 8 to 14 years of age. Now how? The parliament followed formal procedures which included voter ID cards, campaigning. Elected representatives formed a cabinet overseeing school management and advocating for community needs. What happened in this college? They made a children's parliament. Now what kind of children's parliament? It was open to all. Somebody who's from 18 to 14 years of age, of all the village panchayat area, all the children could form part of children's parliament and proper, they were given voter ID cards. They were given proper place so that they could discuss their matters. So whatever problems they were facing in schools, in some schools there might not be proper benches, there might not be electricity. If they see some kind of littering or proper garbage disposal is not there, all these problems children discussed among themselves and ultimately this was conveyed to the adults and then they took the decision. This is how this entire beautiful model which was started by Bunker Roy's Barefoot College happened. next slide we will be studying further more about the grassroots democracy at the block level. Thank you so much.